Hey, Shalom, Akim. First and foremost, call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakadash. Of course, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, alright, who told us all this truth through the Spirit, alright, and continue to do so with great humility. This is now Mom with the DC camp. Ran across this article, and the more after reading it, I think this is a Jake here. This is from the Guardian, and you know they have that program out in California because they have so many fires out there, brush fires and other like, that they use prisoners. All right. Well, in this instance, as I'm going to get into, uh, this guy here, it says after an incarcerated firefighter was nearly killed on the front lines, California delivered him to ICE. So here it is. This guy's out here battling these wildfires for like $2, whatever have you, an hour. All right. But this is more and more what we're trying to tell you. This devil, this so-called white man from the nation of Edom, all right, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of. All right, he's being revealed in these days for the piece of crap that he actually is. All he had to do is look. It's what he did to us as an example, but people just, of course, we're so low that people just, oh, you deserve what you get it. You remember Lamentations? Hey, second chapter, Psalms 83rd chapter. We're under the curses. All right. It says his name is Bunshong Kyola. I guess I'm saying that right. He's facing deportation because he's Laotian. All right. A country he left when he was 4. All right. After helping to fight this year's historic wildfires, California officials have transferred an incarcerated firefighter, who we just named, who suffered a near-death injury on the front lines of a major blaze this fall, all right, to U.S. immigration. And he is now threatened with deportation to a country his family fled 3 decades ago. So it's not like, let me keep reading. This is some BS. I'll just call him Bouchon, 39, had just 2 weeks left in his prison term when he was crushed by a tree while battling the destructive Zog fire in Northern California on October 2nd and airlifted to a hospital. Days later, California prison officials notified federal immigration agents that his release would be coming up, and the state records show made arrangements to directly transfer him into immigration and customs enforcement. Keola could now be deported to Laos, a country he left when he was 4. Now you wonder, why don't you hear this about people from these Eastern Bloc countries like Bulgaria, Romania, or other countries? European, why is that? I just want to go home, he says, and give my mom and dad a hug. All I know is America. I've never thought of myself not being a citizen. I'm just asking for that one second chance. Keola grew up a U.S. permanent resident and is the latest refugee to face deportation as a result of California's controversial policy of transferring certain foreign-born prisoners to ICE after they've completed their prison sentence, a practice Governor Gavin Newsom has supported. Lawmakers across the country, including Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, called on Newsom to end the transfers in September in response to the story of K.O. Lee, another prison firefighter and Laotian refugee sent to ICE. So this is the second one. But the Democratic governor, it appears, has not budged. Wow. He says, battling blazes. First time I felt free. That's sad. Keola, born in 1981, has no memory of Laos. His family is of Khmer descent. The more I think about that, Khmer Rouge. Oh man. an ethnic minority and escaped the country after the Vietnam War. Keola has fragments of recollections of eating meals at a refugee camp in Thailand and being terrified on the plane ride to the U.S. In San Leandro, California, where the family first settled, Keola was afraid of attending school, unable to speak English. I was scared of people with blue eyes and blonde hair. Alright? I've never seen those features. Alright? And that is, that's a curse. Alright? That is a curse. Leviticus 13, and you go to Numbers 12th chapter. Alright? He showed up to school without lunches and with clothes from Goodwill, he recalled, and was relentlessly bullied for being Asian and poor. He finally found community and protection when he met other Khmu youth in nearby Richmond, but that led him to start drinking in middle school, and he soon got caught up in gang violence. When he was 16, he was riding in a car with friends, and he and a group of them ended up shooting out of the vehicle at someone running toward them, afraid it was a member of a rival gang, he said. 2 people were shot and 1 died. Keola was prosecuted as an adult, and his mother begged him to accept a plea deal, afraid he would be locked away for life if he went to trial. So he agreed to plead to second-degree attempted murder and other serious charges, accepting 28 years. He said he has spent decades behind bars trying to right his wrongs. I didn't just harm the victim and his family, I hurt my family and my whole community, he said. I can't take back what I did, but I can make amends and live differently and do whatever I can to help the next person. So they used him, alright, to work on the front lines to fight fires. And it says here, one of thousands of incarcerated people in the state battling blazes, making $3 a day and $1 an hour when fighting fires. Wow. Prison industrial complex. The prison industrial complex. We keep telling you, that was the big thing. After chattel slavery ended, what did it do? The prison industrial complex. Alright? And they wrote up all these, hey, Isaiah 10 and 1. Alright? Let me get that real quick. Because you have an organization, they meet in Philadelphia every year. Alright? It's called ALEC. It's an acronym. It stands for American Legislative Exchange Council. And it has to do with the private prison industry. This is Isaiah 10. Alright? And they ensure through state legislations, various states, and they write their policies and legislate their laws so as to keep the prisons full. For what? Cheap labor. This is Isaiah chapter 10 verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. Damn. So he took a plea deal for 28 years. Goes on to say, he knew people compared the work to slave labor, given the meager wages, but he marveled at the chance to be outside to put his hands in a river, his first time touching running water since he was a teenager. There was no fence, no barbed wire, no tower, nobody with a gun waiting for you. I felt free for the first time. 22 years, Auckland. 22 years. So he served 22 years. Alright. Again, what does it say? Don't want to let him go. So He was sent to prison as punishment, and we know that originally, what prison was supposed to be for what? Penitence, all right? But we know that's BS because they want to rub it in more by sending him away out of the country. Wow. Wow. Let's go to Sirach 12 and 10. That's why we tell you this. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Alright? You're never to trust him. Yeah, you made that agreement, and that was 22 years ago, and yet in that time you've had several administrations come and go. Alright. One which was Arnold Schwarzenegger's as governor. Alright, and I believe he was the one that took all the weights and things out of the prisons. Alright, just to be mean. Alright. Like I say, it's supposed to be for reform, but then you stop people from getting an education on a college level because of what? You got people on the outside. See, that shows you how fucked up a system this is. There's no other way to say it. Excuse me, Slocky, excuse me. Alright, and this goes to Proverbs 29 and 2. The people at the head. And Sirach 10 and 1 and 2. Alright, because so as a leadership is, so are the people. Alright, it starts at the top. You go out with all this, and this is just to appease a certain people, by the way. You go out of this because Lee Atwater let you know what was going on. Alright, these people are never going to change. That's the point I'm trying to make. So they make all this BS up about prison reform and all this, but you take all the tools away, all right, to guarantee that you have recidivism. You have this revolving door, all right, and that's to ensure that you have cheap labor. This is all fixed. This is all a big setup to take advantage of people as a human resource. Now we're coming with this vaccine even more. You thought you didn't have property. You thought you didn't have privacy. Now, wait till you take that vaccine, which is going to lead to the chip, and it's going to be able to take full advantage of that 5G, which is why they're setting all this up. This all goes hand in hand, people. Alright, it says an injury, then a betrayal. On October 2nd, Keel and his crew were at the fast-spreading Zog fire near Reading, clearing brush to stop the fire from spreading. Planes above were dumping water, making it hard for them to see, he recalled. Suddenly he heard his crew members yelling, "Tree!" just before his head was hit and he was knocked down. I was seeing stars. I couldn't move. I was laying flat, face down on the ground. Keola had to be airlifted out. The rope hoisting him up got caught on a tree and he started rapidly spinning. I was thinking I'm going to die. I started praying. I was like, God wants me to go. This is my time. I closed my eyes. He survived. There were a handful of local news reports on the incident, mentioning 2 unnamed inmate firefighters suffering injuries. Keola's release date was just 2 weeks away. He thought he might remain in the hospital until then, but instead he was sent back to prison with recommendations for a follow-up medical appointment the day before his release. His medical records list traumatic neck injury, and Keola wore a neck brace. In prison, he wasn't treated or monitored by doctors, he said. Instead, he was placed in isolation. I felt like I was being punished because I got hurt. I felt sad and betrayed. His records say he was in quarantine, suggesting he might have been isolated for COVID protocols. He was taking ibuprofen every day, trying to sleep on his stomach due to the pain. All right. Meanwhile, his family, who lives in Pinot, I guess that's how you say it, about 22 miles northeast of San Francisco, were making plans for his release. All right. See, that's 2 days prior, ICE agents told Keller the agency would be picking him up instead. His stomach started churning, he recalled. He rang his sister and told her not to bother coming. It's just so unfair. He has served for so many years. We know he is a different person now, alright? And that's basically it, you know. Mm-mm-mm. And this, he said, what's more, the nation of Laos does not recognize the citizenship of Khmer refugees like Kyola. So it's unclear if his birth country would accept him. Still, he is facing deportation hearings, and Prasad and his family fear that ICE could find a way to deport him anyway. Spokespeople for the governor did not respond to repeated inquiries. Newsom has issued, that's the governor, has issued 63 pardons during his tenure, including 10 this week, to immigrants who would have faced deportation. He said Keola and however you say his name, Salih, were not on his list. Alright, so we don't know how this is going to turn out. Wow. Just use them up and throw them away. But that's the nature of, this man has no integrity. He has no honor. He is an unjust man. I'm talking about these Edomites, these so-called white people. Alright. Like I say, he's being revealed for what and who he truly is now. Alright. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up for time's sake. Hey, once again, this is an article about this Laotian here. And this article more or less is to show you who you're dealing with. This is by no means an upright. Habakkuk 2nd chapter tells you, verse 4 there tells you the soul that is in this man is not right. Alright, this is, let me get it. This is who you're dealing with. Alright. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Here you go. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death that cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And this in itself is a clue as to who you've been dealing with, starting with the Greeks, and then the Romans, and what? The revived Roman Empire now, America. On this side, starting with, of course, the Renaissance in Europe. Alright, when these people came back in power. This is who you're dealing with. Alright, 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? How long unto him that ladeth himself with thick clay? That's debt. This is a debt-based world. Alright, because who runs the monetary system? There you go, you guessed it. Alright, and now we're in the beginnings of him changing that. Alright, wants to go digital with everything. Again, you thought you didn't have privacy. Now, wait till all this takes effect with the vaccine, with the chip, the 5G, with them being able to monitor you through all aspects of your life. Alright, and then with the money even more, knowing when and where, alright, you purchase something. We try to tell you, this man wants to be the Most High. We're in 2nd Thessalonians 2nd chapter now. Alright. Alright, so with that, wow, I hope whoever views this is edified. Of course, that's what we're here for. Alright. Those that are still, hey, for the hopefully elect that are still out there. So with that, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Karkadash, and of course, once again, double honors go out to the apostles of Great Millstone, who through the Spirit taught all of us His truth, alright, and with great humility, and continue to do so. So with that, Shalom, Aki.